Okay. Hello, brothers. I'm Joelei Organista, the National Director of Diversity for Omega Delta Phi Fraternity, and I'm here with one of our brothers who's going to join our national team and our committee, and I'll have him introduce himself.
What's up? My name is Thomas Presley Williams, and I am from the Alpha Tau chapter of Omega Delta Phi, located in Laredo, Texas. Um,
When did you cross?
Spring 10.
Spring 10. Oh, wow. That's when I started college in fall 10, but cool. And then, how many people were in your line?
There was six, but only four of us crossed.
Okay. And what's your surname or your night name?
Sir Dark Chocolate.
Dark chocolate. That's funny. My surname is Sir Exemius. I think that's the coolest thing to ask brothers, like what their surnames. It kind of tells your personality, but in terms of
I
like what the
really,
line
really
or
don't like my surname because
really.
there was no thought that went into it. Like you didn't. He pretty much was like, oh, you're the first black person in the chapter. You have to be. You're gonna be a chocolate because you're the darkest person on the line, and the, oh, because you're the first black person. Your name is gonna be dark chocolate.
And was this your big bro that gave you that?
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, um, yeah. So it's surnames, and then what did you study or what are you studying? Did you graduate already?
Oh yeah. I'm done. I have a bachelor's in business administration with a concentration in marketing, and I have an associate's in culinary arts, restaurant management.
Awesome. So you like cooking?
Yeah, it's
Cool. Well,
fun.
oh, you're gonna have to if I ever go over there in Texas, like, and you're gonna and where you live, you're gonna have to cook me something.
We can find a nice place to eat because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to go eat than to like actually
Cook.
cook. But if you
That's,
want to buy food, then like I don't care.
so
I'll
if I
cook.
buy the ingredients, you can cook it.
Yeah,
Okay, awesome. So, for brothers that are watching, this is we do one-on-ones with the people that join the diversity team, so all of you can get to know them, especially the people that are on the team, so that we can know each other and we can work better. So I'm gonna review real quick. So Thomas, you'll be able to see, um, you'll be able to see what I am showing here in terms of like, if I can get my thing over here, a little review of what the diversity team does. Let me go here, um, and I want to make sure present to everyone. Okay, so do you see this slide?
kinda.
Let me make it
Yeah,
big.
I I think I think you sent like an overview in an email, like when people first started asking for people to like sign up,
Yeah, probably.
and I read it.
Let me go back here with our goals. So our goal, right? So the diversity team is dedicating on empowering the multiculturalism in our brotherhood through helping create that one culture where every night counts. So we talk about one culture, any race, right? But we haven't ever defined what that one culture is. And as director of diversity, I feel that one culture could be where every night counts. Nights, as in like us as knights, right? But because
Yeah,
I said every night counts, and brothers are like, yeah, turn up. I'm like, not that kind of night, but um, but anyways, that's and empowering our multiculturalism because we're a multicultural fraternity. We have a bunch of brothers from different cultures, and that doesn't only include race. That includes a lot of things, and so. Our purpose, right, for the diversity team is, Omega Delta Phi fraternity is a multicultural service social fraternity that it provides a diverse fraternal experience to any man. We're here to help empower the multiculturalism and brotherhood by creating or by building community, empathy, support, and resilience in order to fulfill our two goals of graduating our members and serving the community. Right?
way
If it,
to recite the purpose and add some extra stuff.
right? It's pretty much the purpose, but is focused on how do we actually empower multiculturalism. So, um, And our objectives within the diversity team, right? So we want to walk the talk, meaning like within the people we work with, we want to show and model how brothers should interact with each other in terms of empowerment, in terms of helping and supporting each other, and actual brotherhood. And the second thing is we understand the foundations of multiculturalism. And the last thing is we use, oh, that's for the specific for the national officers. But let me go over here to this one, the methods. So methods, we have 4 methods, and I think you, Thomas, brought it up a little bit earlier, but policy is our first one, but it's not the only thing we do. Policy, we focus on policy in terms of reviewing, updating, and proposing new policies so that we can have institutional change. But we need cultural change too, right? Because there could be policy, and as you mentioned, Thomas, people might not follow it. People don't like being forced to follow things, and that's okay. We respect that. But how do we actually help brothers to learn how to it's not focus on policy, but focus on what we're trying to accomplish in terms of helping brothers know how to interact and support and empower each other. Then we have the 3 other methods, which is at conferences or any kind of events, whether that be regional conferences, regional brotherhood retreats, regional brotherhood retreats, national conferences, national leadership conferences, any events that we have that are big from regional, national, the gatherings of those brothers, we want to have resources. We want to have workshops. We want to have support groups. We want to have tables. We want to have anything that needs to happen to help brothers learn. And the other thing, then the third method is advising and training, whether that be at the conferences, whether that be at entities specifically that we go directly to them, or whether that be through video calls or video webinars, trainings. We're going to help train and show how brothers can apply what we want them to learn, right? We can't expect just putting policy in and having them, like any brother, just learning how to do that already. We have to show them how to do it, how to be empathetic, how to support each other, and then that's kind of like that. Programming is then the last thing. We want brothers, and not only us as nationals and regionals, but we also want brothers from the local level to think of programming. That means events that they can put up in their own campus or their own entity that is focused on supporting brothers and or recruiting brothers or potential brothers and or alumni putting events that support brothers, right? Based on whatever communities that are within our fraternity. So that's kind of the 4 methods. And the 4 methods are very important. If we just use one, it's not going to be effective, right? So that's a quick review. We have 4 committees, or 5 committees. The bias incidents and restorative practices is the first one. Bias incidences means is if someone has a bias, right, like a stereotype, and they actually act upon it, that's called discrimination. So, for example, let's say for me, like someone has a bias towards Latinos or Mexicans, or someone has a bias towards a brother because of their religion. Well, if they actually discriminate against me because of my religion or because of my race or because of my disability or because of anything, right, sexuality, or because of my age, if I'm too old or too young, like that's not allowed in our fraternity. And so we actually have to do something about it. And we use restorative practices. The picture that you see here is a broken plate. But in Japanese, there's this concept called kintsugi, which when a plate breaks, you can put it back together using gold. But in our case, we're going to talk about silver, since silver is one of our colors. And then that plate was broken, and they just used silver to put it back together. So even though sometimes harm happens, we can still restore it and or make it better. And it becomes a process that is actually kind of beautiful and really cool. So that's that concept. And then mental wellness and suicide prevention is the second committee, because we really feel like we need to support brothers in all of the ways. If we say we're here to support each other, but we have brothers that are feeling depressed and we're not supporting them, that's not like, what are we supposed to do then? Like, right, we're supposed to be a fraternity and brotherhood. We've also had brothers go to the Omega chapter, meaning they've passed away because of suicide, and that's unacceptable. We should never have that. We should always be able to support brothers, and so that doesn't happen. They shouldn't go to the Omega chapter that way. LGBTQ support. We have brothers that are in that community, and we want to support them. We also have we want to support brothers that if they want to transition to become transgender, and or we have potential members that identify as male but are transgender male that want to join. That's actually allowed in our policy already for a while now, and we want to make sure we support that. Disability accessibility. This is the one Thomas is going to be in, and currently we don't have any co-chairs because we want to feel like we want to get more brothers in our committee that identify within the community. Disability accessibility is all about accommodations. It's all about helping as not only through policy but with all the other methods, training, events, programming, and modeling. Like, what does that mean to support each other? This is a huge committee, or not with people, but like there's so many topics in this, from physical disabilities, from learning disabilities, right? There's just so many. And we are not all experts in all of them, but we can become very knowledgeable in the ones that we identify with and or know about. So I personally I have a disability. I have autism, and so I'm in this committee too, and I'm able to help bring a little bit of knowledge about autism. And then the last committee that we have officially right now is the Dreamer Resources and DACA Undocumented Resources, right? And we do have co-chairs for that. And this is a very important topic. We need back again with our goals. We're here to graduate our members and to serve the community. And our brothers can't graduate if they don't get the correct and enough resources as the undocumented students, right? And so we need to make sure that they receive all the resources and support so that they can graduate, because that's our goal. And then we have one a potential group that we're trying to do is international brothers, because we do have brothers that are international students, refugees, or permanent residents. And I think that would be really cool if we can start building that network and knowing where brothers are in terms of that and supporting them. So those are the kind of I try to go as quick as possible about the review for that. Let me go back to showing us. I think it's showing us. Is it showing me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that was a quick review about everything. Do you have any quick questions about any of that?
No. The only ones I would have questions about is stuff that doesn't concern me. So.
Okay.
Like,
And that's something you can bring up later too. And it doesn't have to be right now. It could be when we have other calls and other meetings.
No, I think like I never would have thought like, oh, we need to have a committee for all these things. But whoever came up with this, I guess it had to be important to someone. So like I feel like it's a good idea, especially like with all the stuff that's going on, like everyone wants everyone to like be okay with what everyone's doing. And the part about everyone being okay with everything, that's not cool, but we should at least teach people how to be like accepting of like what, like if it's not hurting anyone else, then I don't me personally, if it's not hurting me or hurting other people, then I don't care.
Right.
Because you can't go around trying to control everything. Like life is too short.
Right. So I'm the one that when I became national director, I created all those committees, and as you mentioned, it was important to at least me. And then there's brothers that flocked and joined those committees because it was important to them. Because I have a personal experience for all of them, and I feel whether that be mental health or suicide prevention, I'm a survivor of suicide, and that's very important to me. You know, I have autism, so disabilities was another one that I really wanted to bring up. LGBT issues too was also another big one that I wanted to make sure that was addressed. And bias incidences was really important because I've been discriminated before in our brotherhood because of
I feel
different
like
things.
the ones that stuck out to me the most were like the LGBTQ community. I don't know if I say that right,
No, that was
but
correct.
that was one that stuck out the most. Um, because two of my Pledge Brothers
Hmm.
are gay. Uh, like at first, like I didn't know what to expect because I got hit on by gay guys, and I'm like, no, but I'm not gay. There should be a sign on my head that says like I'm not gay. But like they turned out to be cool, so I'm like, well, I don't care what you do as long as you don't hit on me.
Right. And so I'm glad and it all comes down to experiences, right? Once we experience like a brother, and we, like I said, we don't know how to do it at first, but the same thing with disability. Some brothers have never experienced and interacted with brothers with disability. Some brothers have never interacted with brothers that are gay. Some brothers have never interacted with brothers that are black, right? Like, and so
It,
every time they experience that, they kind of learn a little bit.
I think it's about like communication and wanting to, I guess, at least wanting to try to get to know someone that's different. Like you
Right.
might not agree with like whatever, but at least you can say, "Oh, okay, well, that's
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 cool, bro.
you. That's what
That's
you
cool, bro.
do."
Right? That's you, bro. That's you. That's cool. And you just support them. That's what the brotherhood's about. So now moving forward, now actually focusing on you, right? Let's talk about the pictures that you sent me. So the first one is when you experience a lot of hype. Let me put those pictures up real quick, and so we can have you talk about them. Let me go up here. Okay. Okay. So you can see the picture, right?
Yeah, this was the 10-year retreat, and it was a hype moment for me because when I crossed, there wasn't very many of us. We didn't even have chapter status. Like we were a
Oh, really?
colony, so to be able to come from that to where we are now, like that was pretty much like an eye opening moment, and to also know that like I was a part of like pretty much the foundation of helping us get going on campus as far as like the things that we were involved in, like when I was active, and to see like it come like full circle.
Hmm. And then you said it was the 10-year anniversary of your entity.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then this next one is which one?
That was a Casa event, like right after I crossed. I think that's one of the only pictures that I have with like all my PBs. Um, Mark and Serge are actually like standing behind me.
Okay.
Mark is wearing letters, uh, the short one, now doing like
Oh,
acting
this one.
stuff. Serge is in a yellow shirt. Uh, he's working with universities or something. I think he just moved back to Houston. And Ed is the tall guy on
In
the
the red.
left. If you're looking at the picture,
Is he in the red?
wearing the red letter shirt.
Okay.
He's about to go to law school.
Cool. Awesome. And so that's the one you said it has almost all your PBs.
No, that's all of my. There's only four of us, so
Oh
like
yeah.
I think that's one of the only pictures that I have access to that has all of our PBs in it. I think somebody probably took a picture when we crossed, but
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
have no idea with it. We
And
didn't
then
do any, we didn't do a
huh?
probate or anything, so
Oh really?
like these are like all the pictures I could find.
And then this one is it formal?
Yeah, that's a formal. I
Awesome.
think it was the year before last. If it wasn't last year, it was the year before last.
Hmm. Okay.
And it's just nice to like again come from like about seven people active whenever you cross to enough people to be able to throw a banquet
Mm-hmm.
and have a good chunk of the active house show up and a couple of really active alumni.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just nice to like be able to, go support the chapter and see how it's grown.
Mm. Awesome. And so the next question is have you felt gratitude for a certain brother? And so you sent me this picture. And so tell me a little bit about who he is, and then why you're really grateful that he's your brother, right?
Um, that's Ed. He's my PB, and we just kind of clicked like since day one. It was kind of ironic how it happened in a way that my other two PBs that pointed out, like, they were always busy and they were kind of dating. So me and him just ended up like being together all the time, like when we were pledging, and then even after, like we would hang out, like we hang out a lot. Whenever he's in town, he always hits me up, and he even helped me move back to Laredo. He like helped me pack all my stuff, uh, drove the U-Haul, and helped me like unload all the stuff. So he's been a brother to me, like without letters. Like, some brothers are brothers because they wear the same letters, but they don't act like a brother. He acts like a brother, like 24/7. Like, no
Hmm.
questions asked. I don't have to like wonder if he's going to be a brother. The answer is always yes.
Hmm. That's good. What's his name again?
Edgar Quintero.
Edgar Quintero. Awesome. And when did you wait? When did you get to know him again, or how long have you known him?
He's my PB. So we crossed spring 10.
Okay, springtime. Awesome. Let me just post this real quick. And what's his surname?
Sir Ed the Great.
Ed the Great?
Yeah.
Ed the Great. And what did he study? Is he the one that going to law
Um,
school?
yeah, he was a criminal justice major, but he's going to law school. I don't know if he's taking a semester off to retake the LSAT to see if he can like get more scholarships, but he already got
Yeah.
accepted to St. Mary's in San Antonio.
Hmm. Okay. Awesome. Let me check my time real quick of how much time I have. Um, Let me send this quick email to tell this person that I am going to have their call in like 20 minutes. Um,
I'm sorry, I know I like delayed it.
no, it's not your fault. Do-do-do-do.
Seems like when you have something to do, everyone wants to call you.
Right? Okay, so awesome. I'm trying to get this thing posted while we're doing it. And so from now on, the next question we have is, um, and like I said, it could be either positive or negative. So when have you felt empowered and or not empowered within our brotherhood?
Um, Empowered meaning like you.
Like you
I
felt like you can lead. You felt um, like you can be who you are. Like you felt like no matter what, you can accomplish whatever you want to do.
um honestly, if that's the case, like I've always kind of felt that way. Like I didn't need the brotherhood to to do that. But I can give you an example of because before we started the interview, you said that like it also means that like when you felt like you could be yourself.
Mhm.
Uh, when I was pledging, I had a beard and it was like short or whatever, like maybe like a one on the Clippers. Um, I asked my PME or pledge educator, like whatever you guys call it now.
Mhm.
I asked him to, I asked him, do I need to cut my beard? He said no, like it's fine, just keep it neat. And then about 3 weeks later, he calls me and he's like, you need to cut your beard. And I'm like, why? It doesn't have anything to do with me learning the material,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't have had a problem with having to cut it if you would have said you need to cut it from the beginning. Because now it looks like you're making up stuff, and I had that go on my entire life, and I don't appreciate that.
Mhm.
The only reason I'm a brother today is because I'm stubborn.
Mhm.
I literally shaved my beard just so that like they wouldn't have anything that they couldn't talk about me later, because I've seen like what they do, or how they talk about other people when they drop. I was like, you know what, you guys piss me off, but I'm gonna make you even madder by becoming a brother, because if I shave my face, you don't have no reason to not cross me. Every time you ask me a question, I know the answer.
Mhm.
You're the first. I'm usually the first one you ask, and I know the answer. So, like, you have no reason for me to not want to be a brother just because of this. Like, I'm going to be stubborn and stick around just to like piss you off more, I guess. Like, I wanted to be a brother because I felt like I'm gonna go places and I want to help other people get there too.
Mhm.
I feel like the fraternity is supposed to be about people who all have goals. We may not have the same goals,
Mhm.
but if you get enough people in one room, like you'll have a bunch of similarities. And you'll be like, hey, I wanna make an album, and then someone will be like, oh, well, I make beats. The other person's like, oh, well, I take pictures, and you need a photo shoot, or oh, I shoot videos, that kind of stuff. Like,
Mhm.
I knew that I wanted to go places, and I want to help people get there, and I also like the fact that you guys did service. And another thing that I felt empowered about was I did this uh, performance at my school for like Midnight Madness,
Mhm.
which is pretty much like the ushering in of a basketball season.
Mhm.
So like I performed, and the whole gym went nuts. By the second song, they were so loud that I couldn't hear the music to rap the song.
Mhm.
And because I did so well, the lady wanted to uh, have me back, and I was like, no, man, like we should incorporate the Greeks. So I used my connection to like help the brotherhood, and he put me in charge of like getting everything set up, and like they asked me for something and I got it. Uh, it uh, it went on for quite a while, as far
Mhm.
as like the Greeks participating in the halftime shows.
Mhm.
So that was nice. It's something that like got us more points on campus and got us noticed. And I was just happy to be involved in it because like being an outsider and coming to a place, you kind of wonder. Most people would wonder if they have the ability to make a difference. And because of my upbringing, like I'm a military brat, so I'm used to coming. to a new place and feeling like an outsider and you don't know anyone. You have to like relearn everything. All you got is your well. In those situations, you have your family, but um, like you learn quickly like what is your strong suit. And I came in with the attitude of like, hey, we want to be popular, or we want to make Greek life popular, and we want to make it fun and cool. And they would always say like, well, no one goes to the games. No one like, hey, if we want to make it cool and make it popular, then we need to go to the games. Like we need to ask to stroll or step at stuff. Like we have to go to things and be excited. Like even if we're not, because people are gonna follow. Be like, oh, them dudes over there is having a ball with no alcohol, no nothing,
Hmm.
and you're having fun when most people be like, I'm friggin' bored.
Hmm.
So that was a nice moment for me as well because it was like, hey, look, like if you guys let me lead you, I know what I'm doing. I can help the brotherhood.
That's cool. I didn't know you rapped.
Yeah, uh, uh, I do that.
Okay, you spit some fire. You're like,
I do positive like music. I'm actually trying to finish up my album now, or my
awesome.
first like professional album. I
That's
have a
cool,
bunch of mixtapes out, but I'm tired of giving my stuff away free.
right? That's good. That's good. That's good that you're an entrepreneur and you're like trying to see how you can bring positivity through your talents. So
Yeah, I want to use my music as a gateway to do other things. Like I'm always gonna love music, but I realize like I have to use that to like get seed money to get access to like other things so that I can do stuff like set up charities and other
mm,
businesses and like even if I don't get to make like a dramatic difference in the world, like at least I'm trying to do something.
mm,
Even when I was pretty much told that like you can't do anything.
mm. It's good. I like playing music too. I'm not a rapper. I always try to learn how to do some spoken word, but like that's not I'm not there yet. So
I mean, like, can you dance?
I dance. I know how to dance. I know how to
I
get
mean, y'all like
anybody to dance.
most most Latin people or people of color can dance. So
Right?
it's like the same thing. You just gotta have rhythm and words.
That's true. Never thought about it that way. That's true. That makes sense. Cool. So going to our next question, um, and you kind of covered some parts of it, but when do you felt like you've been allowed and or not allowed to be authentic, right? It's like someone has tried to stop you or like try to make sure that you do have all the different aspects of you um, being like not only allowed but respected, understood, and um, and
I
like
mean,
validated.
I forever like feel like I'm misunderstood because from a cultural aspect, Loretto is a bubble. Really don't know very much about like anything that is not Mexican, and I would say a good 75% of the people don't want to learn, but it's also shifting. It's shifted so much in the past 10 years that it's probably dropped down to like 60-40.
Mm,
60% of the people are like, hey, you guys bring something new. Uh, I'm cool with that. Come on in. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing anyway. And then some people just want it to stay the way it is. But as far as like me being authentic, like I'm the same way every day, 365. I don't know how to fake it. I don't. want to put in that much effort. Like it's too much work.
Hmm. That's exhausting.
So if I can't be me, or if I'm being me and you don't like it, we probably ain't gonna get along. Cause I'm not about to put no work into to faking anything because that is not my personality. Like
Hmm.
I'd rather focus on people that like appreciate me. And a lot of times I feel like an outlier because like I'm different. Like you
Okay.
people want to hang out, no one not very many people will be like, "Oh, I'll come get you." It's like if you can't be where I'm at when I'm ready to be there, then I don't really want you to like be a part. I'll be like, "Oh, you can come, but you have to find your own ride." Like you know I don't drive, and it's too far for me to walk.
Hmm. Yeah, so let's talk about that. That's kind of the next question. It's like talk about how you have different identities. So think about three. So one of them is your disability. So talk about that a little bit. Like talk about what that is and how that's
Um,
affected. Also the culture and or the ways you interact with brothers. You mentioned a little bit one how brothers sometimes aren't there fully to support you and get you to a place because you can't physically get there if you don't have the support, right? So talk
yeah,
about that.
um, I would say one is like my race, although I don't really define myself by my race. Like I'm black, and that like it has a lot to do with why I am the way that I am. Not because I'm like, oh, I'm black, so I have to act this way, but just like you're you're Latino, so you're exposed to like that culture
Hmm.
and those experiences that come with being Latino. Now, I mean, you could be a Latino that was raised by black people,
Yeah.
and then you may act more, I guess, African American, quote unquote,
Yeah.
because that's a culture that you were raised with. But your race doesn't have anything to do with your culture.
Yeah, it's just by what you're raised and around, but that even though you would have your race is kind of physical, and people look at it and interact with you however they think you are, right? Even if you are not that, right? So
Yeah,
and so with the brothers, you mentioned a little bit some examples how even though you like you said your race might not fully be identified within yourself, but people see that and they even called you by your surname came to that, right? Even though you're like, well, that didn't have much thought into it. They just used my race to call me my surname.
yeah. And instead of saying like, well, originally I'm from DC, so like DC, the nickname for DC is Chocolate City because at one point it was like 79% black.
Hmm.
Well, you could have called me Mr. Chocolate City, and I would have went with the family tree, and it would have been something personal to me that had some thought into it.
Yeah, that's a good one. You should just reclaim it and be like, it's not dark chocolates, chocolate city.
Most people call me Big T.
Big T.
Yeah, because I rap and I I tell everyone like I don't like my surname. Like don't you like
Like,
if I'm ever able to like get a jacket, I probably will put Mr. Chocolate City on it on purpose.
do you not have a line jacket?
No, I wish I did, but
What
the
size are you?
company,
You're large, extra
uh,
large, large,
I'm a 3X.
3X. Okay, so triple large. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, like I have a size like 56 from shoulder to shoulder, or, or a 54 from shoulder to shoulder.
Hmm. Okay, 54 shoulder to shoulder. Okay. That's cool. Well, it would say Chocolate City, right? If your
No,
son,
it would be Mr. Chocolate City.
oh, Mr. Chocolate City. So not Sir Chocolate City, Mr. Chocolate City.
Yeah. Part of that is because my family they gave me the nickname Mister because they wanted to, like, if people heard them calling me that and they saw that I was different, they wanted to instill in other people, like, hey, just because he's different, that does not mean that you shouldn't respect him. I don't know if you can see me or not.
Yeah, I
I'm
can
just
see you.
kind of
I can see you.
hanging out, but they wanted to show that, like, you should still respect him, uh, even though he's different. Like, just because you're different doesn't mean that you shouldn't be respected.
Okay, that's cool. So Mr. Chocolate City. So that's one identity. What would be another identity?
Um, Say my disability.
Okay. So
Uh,
what's your disability?
I have. I was gonna answer that, but I have cerebral palsy. It's a central nervous system disorder. I'm not really quite sure how to pronounce the type that I have. I also have Blount's disease, which is a genetic disorder that makes your growth plate shift.
Okay.
My growth plate shifted in my left leg, and I got surgery to fix that.
Huh. Okay. So like as in like bone or muscle? What kind of growth?
Your growth plate,
Or
like,
I don't even. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
growth plates are in reference to your bones.
Oh, bones. Okay. That's interesting. Maybe my sister has that then because she had surgery. One of her legs, her bones were like an inch and a half longer than the other side. So I don't know.
Oh,
That's
that
different.
that's bow-leggedness,
Okay.
and they could do like leg lengthening surgery
Or they just cut
if
it.
you're
They just
they
they just
just
took an
cut the
inch and a
leg and
half
made
off.
it shorter.
They just took an inch and a half out of that side of the bone, and she was in a wheelchair for a while. I used to be in a wheelchair too, actually, um, because I have a compartment syndrome. So which is my legs. The myelin sheath on my legs wouldn't expand, and so like when I didn't even know this until like my legs just started hurting, and my muscles, rather than expanding out, they would expand in where the bones are, and they could break my bones. And so then they did surgery to cut the myelin sheath. So then I was in a wheelchair for a while in high school, like pretty much half of high school. So so I have also a lot of empathy. That means like I understand the
Yeah.
struggle of like being in a wheelchair and like trying to get somewhere. It was in high school. My high school was so crowded. It was so hard. I couldn't do so much, and I almost thought I couldn't dance ever again, or I couldn't walk or move, and that's like a big part of me. So yeah, I know how that is, but
Uh, I I feel bad for you in the way that, like, they should have explained to you, like, hey, you're gonna be able to walk again, but it's
yeah,
gonna take a while.
yeah, it's gonna take a while. It did take a while, but now I walk and dance, and so. But with you, is it so? How is it? How severe is it to the terms of like how much accommodations do you need in terms of getting to places?
My cerebral palsy, my Blount's disease doesn't affect me anymore. I just have to make sure I don't get too fat. My other growth plate doesn't slide.
Okay.
But my cerebral palsy, like, I can't stand for very long periods of time. So if I go out, like, I always try to find a bar or sneak into, like, the VIP section so I can sit and people watch and, like, oh, I can't dance, but I don't want to be in the house, so I'm just gonna be here at the bar or in the, like, sneak in the VIP. Like, let me just sit here and uh like watch people and just, like, listen to music.
Okay, that's
Your
cool.
video went out.
Is it? I'm not there anymore.
It came back. Like, it's
Okay.
done that like 3 times.
Okay. Oh, when you're talking, it shows you, and then when I'm talking, it shows me.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
no, like it went like,
it just showed my picture.
yeah, your
Okay.
thing with the flag.
Okay, yeah, me with the flag, the American flag. Yeah, so that's okay. But I'm still here. I can see you and flag. So and then those are the two good. I will talk a little bit about how that's affected, like I said, within the fraternity and your brotherhood, like your entity, like you having those disabilities. Like how's it how that affected brothers interacting with you?
A lot of them like they just didn't know like what to do,
Hmm.
and then like it also cuts off some bonding opportunities because like it requires more of an effort. Like if you want to hang out with me, you have to come to where I'm at, or you have to pick me up.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I used to not have a car, and that brothers had to pick me up all the time, and that limited sometimes things. But sometimes they were really cool, and they would take me home or and stuff. But yeah, that's something that needs to be thought about, right? So
I mean, I don't want people to like. We shouldn't say like, "Oh, you have to take brothers home," but think about it. Like, if you didn't have no car and all of your friends had a car, like nearly all of them have a car, or, or all of them know how to drive except for you, like there should really be no excuse to as in why you don't see your friends. Because if
okay,
you don't, they're not really your friends.
hmm, it's true. Yeah.
Like I shouldn't have. I'm older now, and I also learned this, like while I was active and just being in college. Like you shouldn't have to beg for anyone to be like in your life,
Hmm.
and I have no ill will against anyone who doesn't want to put in the effort. Like I realize that shit takes work.
Hmm.
It's like having kids. Some people be like, "Yay, children! Let's go plant seeds and raise them and have." Other people like me, like, nah. Uh, I'm cool with babysitting. I'll just be the uncle. I'll teach you life lessons, and then you go home to your parents. But it's okay. Like some people are not. They're not built for effort, like extra effort that's
Right.
outside of them. And I don't hold anything against anyone. And I've just learned, like, just appreciate those who want to make the effort and who are like who are close to you.
Hmm. Awesome. So, um, those are the identities
And
we have.
a
Uh,
third one, oh, a
yeah.
third one would be, I guess, me being an artist.
Uh-huh.
Um, I touched on it earlier with it being a gateway for not only the chapter but like the Greek community at the school
Hmm.
to be allowed to like perform at the halftime shows.
Hmm.
And me being an artist is like a big part of who I am. Like sometimes I'll just start rhyming stuff and not even notice.
Hmm. And then you start writing stuff, and then do you how long does it usually take you to get it to become a song or?
Oh, like rhyme, like just rhyming stuff, or a song. I don't know. It depends. Like if I have a beat and a concept, like it doesn't take very long.
Mhm.
Uh, I've written a verse in like 10 minutes.
Wow.
One time, I literally like I played the beat, and I thought of like, okay, well we need to. This is what the song is about. I played the beat like twice. I walked to the mailbox, and I came back, and I had wrote the verse in my head. Like I just kept saying it over and over again,
Mm.
and it flowed very nicely. So I kept it, and I wrote it down. I
Mm.
was like, oh, I just had a Jay Z moment, but there's no witnesses.
No wait. There you go. Um, and so that's your artist and you that affecting the culture. So those are the main questions I have. I do have to wrap this up because in like 5 minutes I have another call. Um, but to kind of wrap this up, like you said, this is a one-on-one that all the brothers can see, and then they can kind of get to know you, especially the committee. Other brothers can also kind of get to know the important experiences brothers have had. You know, everybody has had different experiences while they were active, while they're alumni, while they're in the process. And so I think it's important for brothers to hear and understand that, especially based on the identities different brothers have, right? Since we're multicultural. So, uh-huh.
If I don't know, you didn't ask me this, but I think it's important to know, like when you felt like they were trying to include you,
Yeah.
and I think when I was pledging, like the first, I guess the opening ceremony when they give you like
So don't
your
talk
number or
specific.
whatever.
Yeah, it's not specific because it's gonna be online. But yeah.
Well, the first, like our
So
first meeting,
yeah.
they let me sit in a chair,
Okay, that's good.
and because technically I should be next to Ed, not like I'm one, and I shouldn't be one. But that was like, oh look, we see he can't stand. Let's get the man a chair.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, oh, thank you for like,
Accommodations.
yeah, thank you. I mean, it's not difficult, but some people would be like
Well, it should be
uptight
equal,
about it.
right?
Yeah, like, but yeah, you might want to add that to your like list of questions for.
Yeah. How were accommodations made for you to so that you could feel accepted and you are accepted and included?
And then anything else like I needed, like I'm very vocal, so I would just ask,
That's good.
like, hey, can I? Oh, you're trying to get this accomplished? Like, well, I can't do that, but I know how to. I could do it this way and get that done.
Mm, okay. That's
That's
something
pretty much like my all my experiences.
Okay, and that's something we'll bring up to the diversity team because all of us are trying to figure out with the disability accessibility committee how we want to how brothers that are in the process or are already active or under alumni that are alumni like how do we support them for that so that they are included in whatever we're doing because so you'll be able to give that example and or more examples of that when we actually have those meetings.
All right, that works.
Awesome.
Um, I hope I didn't mean to be long winded,
No, you're
but
good.
I like to make sure I get my point across. So
Hmm.
hopefully this helps other brothers like get to know me. But
Yeah. And I hope you know
I guess
that brothers continue to get engaged with everything we do. And you're a great example of leadership because you're stepping up, and we need brothers to step up to kind of like figure out what are the best ways we can create this brotherhood that supports each other and just treats each other like brothers, right? Like we're brothers in the end. That's the only main identity we should realize that we have in common, and that's where we can like move forward towards. So
I feel like it's about not only like inclusiveness but awareness. Like you gotta be people have to be aware that like these things exist and or these disabilities exist and they're not like all that horrible.
mm,
Like you mentioned you have autism. Uh Eminem has autism and he's like one of the greatest rappers on the planet.
yeah.
So we'll get it done.
Yeah, we get it
Um,
done.
I
That's
guess
work.
just let me know when you need something
Yeah,
and I'll get it done.
yeah. So we'll have our a conference call coming up, and in a couple of weeks, I think, and I'll let you know through email. And now you're officially in the team, so congrats. And anything you have my number, so you can always text me. And thank you again, Thomas, for doing this one-on-one, and like I said, we'll move forward with everything. And kind of to wrap this up, like I'm trying to remember what I would do. I guess we would just do the air deltas. Like, hey, can you do it? You got you. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So then stay hype, Thomas, and I'll talk to you later. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.